I wanted to be part of the care programme because I really wanted an opportunity to network with other senior nurses locally and in the wider environment, really. So I saw this as a great opportunity to actually develop relationships, have an opportunity to support one another, to exchange ideas. I have had senior leadership roles for a number of years, but I realised that I've never actually had any formal leadership training or education. So this was a really exciting opportunity to discover a little bit about myself, to discover what makes a good leader. Yeah, I think so. It's all about developing myself, but also I think as nurses we all aim to be the best that we can be. So I wanted to be a good leader for my team, really, so that we would all benefit. So I was part of the care programme during the summer of 2020. We met every Wednesday, and it was something I really looked forward to. It was like the highlight of my week. It benefited me enormously because it meant I could create friendships. You know, we all started out as colleagues, really, with a similar purpose. And during the programme, we actually created friendships where we supported one another, we exchanged ideas. It opened up new ways of thinking. So population health management was a fairly new concept to me. I had a basic understanding of it, but doing the project within the care programme really put population health management into a practical arena for me. And so being able to lead a project with support from the care programme was fantastic. And also for the team, I think I learnt new skills and I learnt new concepts. So things like the 6 thinking hats, Nancy Klein's thinking environment, you know, and how to actually give people space. And it made me reflect. It made me reflect that I often go to meetings having thought out my ideas and then expected people to get on board. And you know, with that whole thinking environment, you realise you've got to give other people space to think in the same way as you've had that space. So I think my team have benefited. The webinars were really interesting. I have to say, in the beginning, I was slightly nervous about meeting people in a virtual world. I wasn't sure how we would all connect, but we really quickly got over that. The breakout groups were particularly beneficial, and I think what the care programme was really clever, because you tended to come to the same breakout rooms with the same people, so you could really develop friendships, and you saw each other on a weekly basis, so you could catch up with one another. The content of the course was fantastic. It was pitched at absolutely the right level. You know, all of the facilitators were knowledgeable, really open. Yeah, I think it just expanded my whole knowledge. The Shiny Mind app was quite a new concept for me. I think as nurses, we often lead busy lives. We juggle work and home. We have busy working days. And I don't think perhaps spend time reflecting and thinking and giving ourselves some headspace. So the Shiny Minds app really encouraged me to do this. I think it made me think about where I am and how I fit into the whole system and the influence I can have on other people. I think using it in combination with the Shiny Minds webinars made me a much more reflective practitioner, made me much more thoughtful. The aim of my project was to look at the needs of housebound patients, and particularly those that were requesting home visits from the GP practice. And the way we manage home visits at the moment is that they're done by either minor illness nurses or practice paramedics. And in the winter of 2019, we were getting an average of 13 home visit requests a day, and this could go up to maybe 17 home visits a day. And what we actually realized was that the same people were requesting visits regularly. So I gave this some thought, because I thought, are we really meeting the needs of these patients? And should we be looking at what these needs are? We've recently become part of East London Foundation Trust, and so patient experience and patient outcomes and quality improvement is really at the heart of the trust. So I was really lucky, because I had access to a tool which looks at 7 different domains of patients' lives, things like finance and health and relationships, where people live, and it asks people to rate how happy they are in different aspects of their lives. So with the support of the medical director, I thought, wow, we could use this tool to look at the needs of the housebound patients and see, what their needs are. Are their needs medical? Because our solution is always a medical solution. You ask for a home visit, we send you a medical practitioner. We have an increase in home visits, and our kind of knee-jerk responses that we need more staff or that we need more money, but really looking at what that staff or what that resource should look like, I think was at the heart of this project. So the aim was to really drill down and interrogate, the motivations for the requests for home visits, to make sure that we were really meeting those needs and not just playing, lip service, not just sending out a medical practitioner. So that was the aim. I did get a little bit stuck within my project, because we took the questionnaire to the patient participation group, and they had some reservations about its use. They weren't sure about using it, or how comfortable patients would feel. So although I've been able to identify the patient population that I want to use this tool on, at the moment I'm waiting for the tool to be sort of better explained to the patient participation group, so that I can carry on and use this tool, interrogate the needs of this group, and then the ultimate aim is that it will help to shape our workforce planning, so that we will create a workforce that meets the population's needs. There has been outcomes, although the project hasn't come to its fruition. There has been outcomes. So I think actually doing the data analysis was really beneficial, because when I started the project, I was going from a gut feeling. I was going from a feeling of, we seem to be having a lot of visits. Are we meeting those patients' needs? And why are we having recurring patients? So actually breaking down the data, looking at how many visits were done by GPs, and then looking at how many visits were done by nurses and paramedics, and looking at anecdotal patient experience. So I looked at sort of complaints, I looked at compliments, and I found that there was no decrease in patient satisfaction once the visits were taken by paramedics and nurses. And in fact, we got quite a few compliments from that. So I think, you know, although the aim of the project really is to drill down and look at the real needs of the housebound patients, and ultimately to shape a workforce that meets those needs, the early outcomes gives us real confidence that it doesn't need to be a totally GP-led service. It doesn't need to be totally GP reliant, although obviously there will, you know, there is a need for GP input and support, but I think it gives the whole staff a confidence that, you know, this is a good route to go down.